billed a fight of the year. You think it's going to last that long?
No, I think we go 3 or 4 rounds and that's it. He'll have enough.
You're on a roaring highway to the championship. I hear Michael Nunn challenged you already.
Yeah, Michael Nunn challenged me already. But I believe that I would like to hold the world title before I actually challenge Michael Nunn.
What does that mean? You'll fight someone else?
Well, hopefully, Mike McCallum.
Do you feel like you might be looking past Watson into real championship money, and maybe that's a danger?
Well, no, not really. I think, first of all, take step by step. I'd like to beat Watson and find some,
Dark Destroyer. Who gave you that name?
Well, the papers named me the Dark Destroyer. First of all, they named me the Mean Machine. I didn't like it. They named me Nigel Benn. I didn't like that. And they named me the Dark Destroyer. But I'm dark. I love destroying people. Oh, yeah, that one sticks. So, I was happy with the Dark Destroyer.
Well, destroying people is sort of an understatement. You've had knockouts in every one of your fights. And there's no reason in your mind to believe you're going to do otherwise in the fight coming up?
Well, so you see, we're in the hurt business. Yeah, I intend to, hurt Watson and just get the hell out of the ring. That's all I want to do is hurt him and just get out of the ring. No wasting time, and that's it.
Well, Nigel, it's been nice visiting with you.
Hey. Gotta go. They're playing my song.
And that's one case I solved without my dear Watson, because Watson has his own problems coming up.
This afternoon is in the featherweight division. There's our idea.
Ricky Stackhouse, Kenny Styles, and I've earned my position. Ben hasn't fought nobody higher class in the racing. He fought a man by the name of Logan from Jamaica. He was rated 18, 19 at the time, and he was thoroughly exposed at the time.
Watson seems unaffected by the Dark Destroyer's mystique.
That doesn't bother me in the least. He doesn't intimidate me. Nigel Benn has fought a bunch of nobodies. And he hasn't learned nothing by that, and I'm not impressed. I'm single-minded, I get paid to do a job. Boxing is a job to me. All I've got to do is go in and do my job and get out. The pressures don't get to me whatsoever.
And here comes the 24-year-old Michael Watson out of Clempton, England, now living in Islington, England. His last fight, March 8th, third-round knockout of one Franklin Owens. Watson undefeated in his last 15. Over the past week, both camps have been at odds over some issues as weigh-in location, interview appointments, entrances to the ring. And Michael Watson's manager, Mickey Duff, has warned that once Watson enters the ring, he will wait only 2 minutes for Nigel Benn. He does not want to be kept waiting. Duff says Watson will leave the ring. And we will put a clock on it to check it out. Michael Watson in the ring and awaiting the entrance of the crowd favorite, Nigel Benn. We'll be right back. Would leave the ring unless Ben makes it to the ring, and apparently he will, as Nigel Benn starts the walk. Bertie, I'm told the outfit of Nigel Benn cost in the area of $16,000.
He could have bought himself a little Minx car and driven it for $16,000.
Well, that is the 2-minute mark, and let's see what happens here.
Mickey Duff is looking at his watch. The excitement is building. Is he going to leave? If he leaves, I don't know how he's going to get out. This place is packed.
Well, we were told that security people have been instructed not to allow Watson to leave the ring. All right, here's the entrance of Nigel Benn, a bit on the theatrical side.
Looks like the Olympic team just came in, all of them. The smoke effect from show business.
Dark Destroyer, 25 years old, out of Ilford, England. Nigel Benn, the British Commonwealth middleweight champion. He has stopped 11 of his 22 opponents in the first round, 19 within the first 2 rounds. His fight, March 28th, a second-round knockout that took place in Glasgow, Scotland. Said to be a perfect right hand. Ben said it was the best punch of his career.
Well, at the very least, he's won the entrance. That's some kind of show business entrance. I'd hate to see him fight Camacho. It would take an hour to get in the ring and get the fight started.
I got the idea that Nigel was entering to perform on a rock concert.
Oh, he's got a ponytail. It's the first time I've ever seen a boxer allowed to have a ponytail.
Well, aside from the theatric boxing people in England say he is the most exciting boxing talent to hit this country in many years, he has been called the British version of Mike Tyson, 22 fights, all 22 by knockout. A crowd of close to 7,000 on hand. We're in a giant tent. A tent that was used during Stevie Wonder's European tour. A look at the tent of the tape, and they are evenly matched. Both at 5'10", Watson the slight reach advantage. A look at the Fight Doctor RX, starting with Nigel Benn.
Well, if he takes advantage of Watson's play-safe survival tactic in the early rounds and attack, he can catch him cold. And if that doesn't work, he better box and wait for his superior boxing power to take effect. After Watson, he will use the side-to-side motion while giving ground to avoid an initial attack. That means don't go back straight. He'll get hammered that way. And if he uses intelligent counter-punching, hoping to land on Benn's suspecting chin, he may well score a resounding upset.
The introduction of Michael Watson, and now Nigel Benn.
Watson is bone dry. Look at the difference in the glistening body of the Dark Destroyer and the absolute dull and dry body of Watson. He has not warmed up. He's ice cold.
Well, the style of Nigel Benn does have its downside. Last October, he was put down at the end of the first round by Anthony Logan. But in the second round, while Logan was peppering the defenseless Benn with unanswered punches, the Dark Destroyer turned it around by knocking out Logan with an enormous left hook. And that's the only time that Benn has been knocked to the canvas. Scheduled for 12 for the British Commonwealth Middleweight Championship. The IBF Middleweight champ is Michael Nunn. The WBA title holder, Mike McCallum, and the WBC Middleweight champions, Roberto Duran. Reportedly, the winner here will get a shot at the WBA champ, Mike McCallum. The referee is John Coyle of Great Britain. He is the sole arbiter, scoring on the 10-point system. No 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8, no mandatory 8. The bell does not save the fighter except in the final round. And then comes right out, going to the body of Watson.
Watson trying to cover up, just waiting for that energy to go, hoping to land a hard shot. And the excitement here is crackling. Watson's been told to just live, just survive these first 2 or 3 rounds, and then the fight will be his. But that's something of a problem when you got a guy like the Dark Destroyer punching hard in front of you. Good stiff jab by the Dark Destroyer. Right hand to follow. Watson's just waiting for his shot. This is the first time I think that the Dark Destroyer's faced a man this big. Solid weight, solid middleweight. And that may pose a problem.
Benn punching Watson with the left. Peekaboo style for Michael Watson here in the first round. Strong body shots delivered by Benn.
Every one of his shots is as hard as he can throw. He's not throwing anything soft. In that way, he's a lot like Tyson. He's coming in trying to put hurt anywhere he hits you, on the shoulders, any place.
Well, Ben says he is in the hurt business. He is non-stop, all pressure, has a powerful left hook.
He just landed that powerful left hook. Watson just trying to keep him at bay, losing the round handily, but he's not getting a lot of damage done to him.
Under a minute left in this first round. And the small ring to the advantage of the puncher, Nigel Benn.
Remember, Ben is wide open as he punches the Dark Destroyer, just like Tyson seems to disdain defense and come in roaring with his offense.
Good combination by Watson, but Ben able to counter.
Watson taking all of this punishment.
Final second, round one. We'll be back in a moment. Michael Watson in round one. Watson has never been down. He has an excellent chin. His most significant victory stopped American dangerous Don Lee in 5 rounds last year. Also stopped Reggie Miller in 5. 2 rounds less than it took Nigel Benn to do it. In fact, he's faced better opponents than Benn.
Well, that's supposed to be the wrap here. He's got the experience, and if he can hang on through 3 rounds of this hyperkinetic activity by Nigel Benn, then it's within the possibility he can pull up right off the bat. He lost that first round very big to Nigel Benn. Question is, can Nigel keep this up for 12 rounds, punching this hard? I don't think he can. I think he's got a lot of Watson coming on a little bit close to the crowd this year. Got a lot of nervous energy going right here. He's going for an early knockout. Is the Dark Destroyer.
But every so often, Watson looks for the opportunity and has been able to score with combination. And got the left hand in.
What Ben does is go back almost touching the ropes in the kind of rope-a-dope that Ali used to use. He's got his hands up, and he'll take those shots to the side, but he's countering well off the ropes.
11 of Benn's 22 knockout victims have taken place within the first 2 rounds. And we're halfway through round 2.
Watson getting brave now, throwing some real good shots in there. Remember, there's a suspect chin on the Dark Destroyer.
Uppercut attempted by Benn.
He's getting too desperate from too far out. He's got to go back to boxing and punching. That uppercut was just an amateurish punch. Telegraphed all the way from Mersey.
Again, a nice combination from Watson. And he has also been scoring with the uppercut. Crowd at this point overreacting every time Ben gets close.
Remember, Watson is the superior boxer. Right now, he's just letting this guy come on, putting a little hurt on him as he comes in, but willing to lose these early rounds.
And Ben has been leaving himself open to counterpunching. It's been rare that his opponent has been able to get this close to successfully counterpunch. Good right hand, though, by Ben.
Nigel Benn is banking everything he's got on his hard shots, and he's willing to take shots. Will that be wise over the long run?
And that will wrap it for round 2.
Just as he's bending over. Now watch. Boom, a wonderful uppercut. That's the kind of stuff that the Dark Destroyer wants. On to round 3, and those first 2 have been sizzling.
Michael Watson in the red, Nigel Benn in the light front. And Benn now scoring with the right hand.
Watson keeping that right hand and left hand cocked, ready to go, even though he's in a peekaboo. He wants to lure him in, lure the Dark Destroyer in, and try to uppercut and try to hook him. He's been having pretty good success in the second round, although he still lost it on my unofficial scorecard.
Yes, most of Nigel Benn's opponents have gone down very quickly. As we mentioned right at the start, it is the hope of Michael Watson to take Benn into a 4th, 5th, 6th round, and he feels he will have a real good opportunity because Benn has not had the experience there.
And here comes the jab for the first time on Watson, and I'm surprised that he didn't use that jab all through the first 2 rounds. With his height and reach advantage, he should be able to out-jab the Dark Destroyer. On comes Nigel Benn again.
Just missed with the right hand.
Watson still fighting a much more calculated and intelligent fight. Benn is just all-out punch.
And with that all-out style, that is how he got caught by Anthony Logan last October. In fact, his trainer, Brian Lynch, very upset with the way Benn went out at Logan, and he got caught, but was able to come back and win by knockout.
Well, he didn't learn much because he's doing exactly the same thing here. He is wide open. If Watson can maintain his composure, come in with a little strength, and step inside those wide arcing punches, then Mr. Benn will have trouble.
Good left hand by Watson.
Yeah, Benn getting much sloppier with his punches now. He's still throwing hard, but he doesn't care what he hits. He's just missing. He's going to stamp his strength. It would behoove him to measure those punches, slow down a little bit, and get into a longer fight plan, because it's obvious he's not going to put out Watson in 3 rounds.
Nigel Benn defending his British Commonwealth middleweight crown against top contender Michael Watson. That is it for round 3 with Watson coming on. Is round 4 as Nigel Benn opens up, slugging away at Michael Watson. Watson finished that 3rd round very impressively.
Yes, I gave him that round for the first time. He counterpunched accurately. He was making Benn miss, and Benn was looking frustrated and tired at the end of that round. If this should go to the end of the 4th round, you may hear a very large roar, because the significant betting was that this fight would end inside of 4 rounds, 7-1.
And here's Watson. Landing combination. Benn tried to sucker it in.
But he got hit some terrible shots just then. If he's got a bad chin, he certainly didn't show it just then.
Well, he was playing possum. In fact, a grin on his face. He tried to sucker Watson in.
But he got hit some hard shots, and he's still getting hit hard shots. Remember, Watson can punch.
Michael Watson comes in at 21-1-1, 17 by knockout. Good right hand by Watson.
You're now seeing an exhibition of a good boxer just trying to outbox and outpunch a puncher. Now he's got Benn going back.
And this is the inexperience of Benn that is caught up. Combination by Watson.
He's still trying to sucker him in.
And Watson lands the right hand out of the peekaboo style.
Watson is just powdering Nigel Benn. Benn doesn't seem to care. He just comes in, tries to sucker in Watson, and then goes to work. In doing so, he's taking a fearful shellacking. I don't know if he'll be able to go 12 at this pace. They just exchanged hard punches. The jab starting to come back into effect as Watson is using it to keep off Nigel Benn and to keep him off balance. It's hard to keep a punching machine off balance, so this guy is just coming in from all angles.
crowd chanting, Nigel, Nigel.
Those are the guys that bet the other way.
Well, we were told that Michael Watson can take a punch, and we have certainly seen that.
Look at that peekaboo. Look at that rope-a-dope leaning back on the rope.
Watson got caught.
What a round.
Final seconds, fourth round.
Possum, he's going back, playing possum. But look at the punches he takes while he's playing possum. Right connect, now he comes back. It's a question of trying to repeat what he had done with Logan, where he acted like he was hurt and then came back and knocked him out. It didn't work with Watson.
And we are on to round number 5. Nigel Benn has gone past 4 rounds only one time. Won 7 against Reggie Miller in a victory. But Watson has gone past the 4th round on 9 occasions.
And now will Mickey Duff in his corner turn him loose and say, okay, you start working. Because I think Watson has worked as hard as he can work over those first 4 rounds just to survive.
This is for the British Commonwealth Middleweight Championship. And Great Britain does have a strong tradition in the middleweight. World champions such as Randy Turpin, Terry Down, Alan Minter. This is also the richest ever British middleweight fight. Benn will get $230,000 and Watson $155,000.
Alan Minter sitting right next to us and leaned over and said, don't forget, Watson can punch this guy's lights out. So here we go. In the 5th round, again playing possum is Nigel Benn. Taking an awful lot of shots to play possum.
Watson turning the fight in the 3rd round and able to score with combination.
Watson on the basis of superior boxing is starting to wear out the hyperactive Nigel Benn, although Benn is ahead in this fight unofficially on my scorecard, 37-39.
Uppercut by Benn started that flurry.
But look at Watson. As soon as he starts the flurry, up come the glove. Look, he just can't get through.
This has got to be frustrating for Nigel Benn.
What looks like from the crowd that he's punching wildly, he's hitting gloves. And getting hit right on the face. His gloves, in the meantime, are not up. Look at Watson. As soon as Benn starts an attack, up comes the glove. Look. And if he doesn't watch out and doesn't punch, then Watson starts to punch. Watson's fighting a very intelligent boxing fight.
And again, the combination from Watson. And it sent Benn backwards. Tough to tell whether he's playing possum again. Yes, he was. Same act.
One of these days, he's going to cry wolf. And he's going to wake up to listen to the guy count 10. Whoa, what a shot. But again, glancing off the gloves of Watson. Watson's just automatic to putting up those gloves. Is he well trained? Look at this. Up come the glove.
And we're coming to the edge of the 5th.
Look, it went right off the glove of Watson. That's what happened all last round. I gave that round to Watson, and it's getting close, 48-47. But the man that's inflicting the damage is Watson.
And it is on to round 6. Michael Watson has gotten away from his old habits of straight-ahead pressure behind that predictable left jab. Now using more combinations to the head and body, along with an uppercut and a hook, and it's certainly paying dividends here against Nigel Benn. Mickey Duff has to be happy about what he has seen to this point. He said if Watson can survive until the middle round, that Watson then would stop Benn in the later round. Well, we'll see.
Right now, for openers, Nigel Benn's face is beginning to show the wear of all those solid shots. He's swelling up. There are no lumps or marks on Watson, which is amazing considering the speed and strength of the punches that Benn has been throwing. It just looks as if Benn doesn't know how to throw it. Oh, he's got thumb. He got thumb. He got thumb.
And the referee, John Coyle, is the sole arbiter to his hands, and he says keep boxing.
Now he's got trouble, and that's the problem with the sunless gloves.
Oh, but here's Ben right back.
He's trying to buy time so his eyes will clear up, and the only way he can do that is to fight.
And down goes Ben. A pinpoint left hand to put Ben down.
He went down like a tree trunk. He
It
was
is all over.
incredible. He called that over when he got up.
Michael Watson upsetting Nigel Benn. Ben had been down only once before as a professional, that against Anthony Logan. He came back to defeat Logan, as we mentioned earlier. And now Michael Watson with a very effective boxing lesson. Staying away in the early round, coming on, scoring with counter punches, has stopped Nigel Benn in round number 6.
And that's got to be a great upset, perhaps started by the thumbing, which we will see in just a moment. Now, that's what happens when you have the unattached glove where the thumb is still out. Of course, that might have cost him the fight because it took the fight right out of him, and he got desperate. Now, let's watch. Almost in a moment, there's it. I thought that was it. The right hand was it. And there, he can't quit. They can't give him a standing 8. He must fight his way through. Given that difficulty, the only thing he could do is fight all out to try to get out, and he got nailed. And that's tough luck. And, of course, I'm not sure that he shouldn't have gotten up and had a chance, but he was really nailed, Mark.
Right, no standing 8, no mandatory 8, according to the British Boxing Board of Control. And Michael Watson being hoisted by his people. And his manager, Mickey Duff, was right on in terms of the strategy.
Exactly what Mickey Duff told me all day yesterday. If we can pass the 4th round, his superior in boxing will knock him out because the other guy's too desperate, and he doesn't have the experience.
All right, here is another look at how the fight concluded. Just after the thumbing, and Watson lands to put Ben down, and that was it, as the referee John Coyle tells Watson to move to the neutral corner. Then Coyle called it as Ben got back to his feet.
It was a stiff left jab, what he'd been using all along to set him up, only this time, by this time, he was so beaten that that jab alone just knocked him off his feet. However, he looked like he could have gotten up, but maybe he couldn't see him. Maybe it was the wisest thing of all to stop.
So the first professional loss for Nigel Benn, the British Commonwealth middleweight title, to Michael Watson. We'll be back to talk to the fighters in a moment. It is a wild scene back here in London. We are in a giant tent that is holding in the area of 7,000 fans, and they have just seen Michael Watson stop the previously undefeated Nigel Benn in round number 6. And the referee, John Coyle, began to start the count and then changed his mind. He waved it off, and he indicates it is all over. Now, somewhere in the midst of that disarray in the ring is the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. Let's get to Ferdy.
Doubt as to getting him later when he started so fast.
Well, I knew that was the main strategy of the fight. I knew the only way Ben could beat me is by starting off fast and put me out in the early round.
Everything that you did was off the peekaboo. Up your hands would come. He couldn't get through there, but you were inflicting a lot of punishment. Did you think that you'd go for the knockout?
But I wanted to wear him down because I knew he was very strong.
Were you taken in by his fooling around, acting like he was hurt?
No, I knew I hurt him because I was getting some solid shots.
Did you think you thumbed it?
No, I didn't thumb him. It was a good right-hand punch.
What happened to his eye? Why did you think he held his eye?
He got hit in the eye. No, it was a good punch.
What was the punch that actually knocked him out? Here, you can look at the fight.
It was definitely the right hand. So there.
Now, this is possibly what looked like the thumbing. As you throw the right hand, he holds his eye right there.
Yeah, that was a good punch.
See?
Yes, it was right hand.
And now, as we come to the end of the fight, you go into a rope-a-dope, what looks like a rope-a-dope. He comes on wildly thrashing, and here's what you hit him with. There went the left hand, which knocked him out. Now, did you consciously do a rope-a-dope like Ali did, leaning on the rope?
That's right. That's the same strategy I use. You know, he's very strong. What I wanted to do was lean on the rope and then punch himself out.
Mickey, you told me all day yesterday that after the third round, he was yours. Why were you so confident?
I knew that. I said to Michael, I made him watch the Foreman Ali fight.
That's what I thought of.
That's exactly what you've got to do. Let him burn up. I made him watch the Foreman Ali fight. Lloyd Huntington told him to watch the Starling fight, where Starling made him burn up. That's exactly what he did. We knew that Ben's stamina, if it's tested, would be faulty.
All right.
And we stepped up everything, and then we came on.
That leaves one last question. Is it McCallum next? Is it the title shot?
The title shot is next. My company has an option on his next title defense, and I'm sure it'll be Michael Watson.
Thank you very much. And now back to Marv Albert in the peace and quiet of ringside.
War zone work by the fight.
Michael is a good seasoned pro. You know, he went out there, he done everything right tonight. But, you know, I ain't saying nothing bad about Michael Watson. He went out there, he done the job professionally.
Did you go about it in the wrong manner in terms of your strategy in the early rounds?
Yeah, I did. But, you know, you learn. You know, I made a mistake with Anthony Logan. I learned by that mistake. Tonight, I learned again.
All right, we're looking at the actual knockout, and it appeared at first that the referee Coyle was just counting it down, and then he said it's all over. Do you have any quarrel with that?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, he caught me with a good shot. You know, but, you know, it's funny seeing myself on telly.
It's funny to see this, you say?
Seeing myself on telly on the ground. You know.
Not something you have seen before, at least when the final count was being rendered.
It's nothing like, you know, it's like, I can explain it. It's something like, you know, you got to take like a man. You know, you can't, you know, worry about it. You just got to say, well, not over. You got to think, right, I'm coming back again. You know, I ain't going to sit down and forget about it. You know, I'm going to say, well, I'm coming back. I want to be world champion.
Are you surprised that Michael Watson was able to take as much as he did from you in those early rounds?
Yeah, well, because a lot of them he's catching in his arms, and he fought the right fight.
What's next?
Well, rebuild my career and see where I'm going from there. You know, still got the British and the European, so everything ain't lost yet.
No way.
All right, a disappointment for the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn, as he was stopped by Michael Watson in round number 6. There is Michael Watson, the new British Commonwealth middleweight champion. We'll be back in a moment.
What happened? You couldn't hear yourself?
Come on.
Hey there, yo.